No.
Breaching the security risks?
No, I'm not. Behave yourself. Nowhere near your gate. I'm not your mate. I'm not near the gate.
Step away from the gate.
No.
Just step away
No,
from the
don't
gate.
touch me.
Just step
Why are
away
you
from the
touching
gate.
me? What are you
Step
doing?
away from the gate.
You've just assaulted me.
Just step away
I'm
from the
away
gate.
from the gate. Why are you still touching me?
Keep going, step away from the
No,
gate.
I'm away from the gate. No.
Step away from the gate.
Identify yourself now. Why are you still pushing me? Why are you still pushing me?
Step away from the gate. Or
I'm away from the gate. I'm away from the gate.
So keep walking.
Identify yourself, please.
PC 3566.
Why are you still pushing me?
I'll
Wow.
take you as a security risk. Keep walking.
Why are you still pushing me? I'm away from the gate.
So keep walking.
Stop pushing me. You've just ended your career. You know that.
Keep going.
Get off me. What are you doing? I think you should get a sergeant here. I think you should get a sergeant here.
Just keep walking because
No.
I'll take you as a security risk.
I'm not walking anywhere. I'm in a public place. What are you doing?
The opening moments immediately raise concerns about the basis for what follows. He's instructed to move away from a gate he doesn't appear to be near, which makes the purpose of the direction unclear. When he does move but not to the officer's satisfaction, the situation escalates into physical contact, repeatedly, despite him appearing to have complied with the initial instruction. That's significant because force should be used only to achieve a lawful objective, and once that objective is met, it should stop. In this context, the continued use of force becomes difficult to justify. It doesn't appear tied to officer safety or preventing an immediate issue, but rather to enforcing a level of compliance beyond what was originally required. When force continues after compliance, it raises serious questions about whether it remains necessary or proportionate.
Keep walking.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Come on.
What are you doing?
Keep going.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Keep going.
You've ended your day. You've ended your career, love.
Just sit there.
Nah, stop
Do not
pushing
go
me.
anywhere
Stop
near
pushing
that
me.
gate. You can video
Stop
us,
pushing
yeah?
me. Nah,
Do not video anyone
that's
near
a
that
public
gate.
place. I can go wherever I want. I think you need to get your supervisor here now. You're in trouble,
You
pal.
want supervising ring 101?
You're in trouble. Identify yourself, please.
Have I identified myself?
No, you haven't. Identify yourself.
Just say that.
No, I'll go wherever I want. It's a public place. It's a public place. You understand that, yeah? You understand what a public place is?
This male's been trying to get into the back of the
I'm not
police
trying to
station.
get in at all. You're lying. Why are you lying? It's all on camera. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Huh? You've seriously just pushed me all the way from there. You know full well I can't do nothing to defend myself because you're in uniform. You'd have me twisted up in a second. Right? It's a public place. You have no authority whatsoever to dictate where I go. Is that clear? Is that clear?
After directing him to move, she then tells him to stay in place, effectively trying to fix his position on a public pavement. That raises questions, because any restriction on movement needs a clear legal basis, not just an instruction. When he asks for a supervisor, the request isn't addressed. That moment is often where a situation can be reassessed, so ignoring it can contribute to further escalation rather than resolution. The situation becomes more concerning over the radio. While he appears to be standing clear and compliant, the description given to colleagues suggests he is attempting something more serious. Radio communications are critical because they shape how other officers understand the situation and respond to it. If that description doesn't accurately reflect what's happening, it risks escalating the response based on information that may not be reliable.
Mate, I'm not listening to you.
Exactly. So go away. Back in your car. Why are you still pushing me?
I'm not letting you in out of that gate. Just
I'm
keep
not going in the gate.
Just keep going.
I am not going in the gate.
You tried to step in that gate.
I didn't step in. I stood at the corner. Like I done at the other side and I didn't go in. No officers came out and assaulted me.
So how do I know that?
You don't know that. You don't know that. But you go on what you do know and what you don't know.
And I believe
You're
that
an
we
absolute
security
idiot. Get back in your car
you
and
very
do
much.
one.
Step away.
Get back in your car.
Step away.
Get back in your car. You've found yourself in a whole world of shit.
Wonderful. Step
Yeah.
away.
Why are you still pushing me?
Step away.
Stop pushing me.
Do not come anywhere near the police.
You've just committed several assaults. You've ended your career. You know that.
Step
You
away.
know that. You have ended your career.
Do not come
You
anywhere
have
near the
ended your
gate.
career. You know
It's
that.
fine.
You have no idea what you've just done.
But just leave
You
the
have
police
ended your
alone.
career. You've just ended your career. 100% you've just ended your career.
Don't come anywhere near the police.
I'm not. What do you mean go anywhere near the police station? This is a public place.
I believed you to be entering that police
I was
station.
not going into a police.
At this stage, meaningful communication appears to break down. Saying she's not listening shifts the interaction away from dialogue and toward unilateral enforcement. Even as he moves away and states he won't approach the gate, the physical pushing continues. That's significant because the use of force should be tied to a clear, lawful objective, and once that objective is achieved, it should stop. Her insistence that he cannot be near the station isn't clearly linked to any specific power or condition, which raises questions about the legal basis for that direction. When concerns are raised about the legality of her actions, the response shows no visible pause or reassessment. Without that, the interaction risks appearing less grounded in lawful authority and more driven by maintaining control, regardless of whether the underlying justification still holds.
I'm nowhere near it now and you're still pushing me. I'll go wherever I want. I'm not following. I'm going up there where I was when I started. Who are you? Get in your car and do one. What? You're swearing at me as well? No, I'll go wherever I want.
You want to keep walking?
I will go wherever I want. Why do you keep assaulting me? You're off your head. You're absolutely off your head. You need put on a leash, love. Getting assaulted by this woman.
Woman alone, I'll go with
What do you mean leave the woman alone? She's assaulting me. I've got it all on camera, mate.
She hasn't touched you, get it.
How do you don't even know what you're talking about, you moron. You don't know what you're talking about.
Just going like that.
I'm stood on the pavement and she starts pushing me, mate. You weren't even here. What?
I was watching it from up
And she was pushing me all the way down
Leave
here.
her alone.
Would you leave her alone? I'm minding my own business.
She's a woman,
She
leave her alone.
approached me.
You watching this?
Somebody de-escalate this situation.
What's wrong with him?
What do you mean what's wrong? I'm exercising my rights, mate.
Right to be a knob. What's the matter with you?
Well, who you call a knob?
You? Go on, do
You're
one.
a knob.
Go
You
on,
do one.
one.
What are you going to do?
Just leave her.
When a member of the public intervenes, he appears to form a quick conclusion without fully assessing what's happening. Rather than focusing on the actions being observed, he aligns himself with one side of the interaction, which risks shifting attention away from the actual conduct in question. That kind of snap judgment can be problematic because it moves the discussion from objective behavior to perception and assumption. In contrast, the individual involved keeps his response simple and focused, stating that he is exercising his rights. That distinction matters. Rights are not determined by public opinion or bystander interpretation, but by the law itself. When perception begins to outweigh clear legal standards, it can blur accountability and make it harder to properly assess whether conduct was justified.
Have you got anywhere else you can go?
Right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
So you've got nowhere up there you need to be? You've got no home to go?
I do have a home, yeah. But this, I'm here for work purposes. Why don't you just have a conversation with me instead of getting all physical? We could have, like, I'm not unreasonable, but I become unreasonable when you start assaulting members of the public. But you don't have the right to assault someone.
I believe you to be a security risk.
I was not going into the police station, okay? I understand what you're saying, but we could have had a conversation about it.
Have a conversation with me. I just want you to leave.
Right, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to go in the gate, but I'm not going to leave, okay?
Well, then can you stand on the other side?
No, I
of the
won't,
property?
because I'm walking backwards and forwards. I'm making a video. I'm doing my
Can you
work.
walk backwards and forwards on that side?
No, I
of the road?
won't. I'll stay on this side. It's a public place. You can't tell me where I can walk and where I can't walk. But I'm not going to go into your gate. The gate's closed. Is the building secure?
What happens if the next time the gate opens?
I'm not going to go in. I can assure you that. I don't.
I'm sorry, I really don't believe
but
you,
that's
so stand over
hypothetical.
there.
That's hypothetical. So you go on what you do know and what you don't know.
This exchange highlights the core issue. When he asks why the situation can't be handled through conversation rather than physical contact, the response makes it clear that the priority is getting him to leave, not engaging with him. Effective policing generally starts with communication, especially where no clear offence is taking place. Moving straight to physical enforcement without that foundation raises questions about necessity and proportionality. It is correct to point out that force requires a lawful basis. It can't be justified simply because an officer believes compliance might not be forthcoming. The reasoning given, that he was treated as a potential risk based on a lack of trust, leans more on assumption than on objective, observable facts. Without clear evidence of wrongdoing, relying on what might happen rather than what is happening risks stretching police powers beyond their intended limits.
Is anybody willing to de-escalate this situation? No one. Yes, mate.
Film what you want.
Yeah,
when
I appreciate
the
that.
gate opens, there's a sensor.
I understand.
If you got too close to the sensor,
Okay.
you could be breaching security of the police
Right.
station. Quite simply,
Right, okay.
don't get too close to the gate.
Right,
okay?
can I answer you? Okay. I'm not going into the gate. I'm not going to breach the gate. I don't do that. That'd be very silly if I'd
You
done
can
that.
understand why people be worried that
I
someone
can't
would do
understand that, but what I can't understand is the lady pushed me all the way across the road several times
Okay.
when I was away from the
I'm
gate.
talking just about the gate.
Okay?
So
I'm not going near the gate.
Don't go anywhere near the
You
gate.
can rest assured that I'm not going anywhere near the gate. Do you want to show me where as far as I can go? Like, if you want to show me, like, where I can and can't stand,
you
I'm
see
happy.
our hatch markings, yeah?
Yes.
Just stay away from there.
I was nowhere near there. I was on the pavement, so I was nowhere near there when she assaulted me. So I was nowhere near there when she assaulted me.
When additional officers arrive, the tone doesn't reset, it becomes more fixed. A request to de-escalate isn't engaged with, and there's little sign of the situation being reassessed. Ideally, more officers should bring fresh perspective and help clarify what's actually happening. Instead, the response appears to focus on maintaining a consistent position, rather than independently evaluating whether the initial approach was justified. The discussion around the gate highlights this. One officer acknowledges that interference would require him to be much closer to the restricted area, which doesn't match his actual position on the pavement. Despite that, the focus remains on a potential risk rather than an observable one. When the justification relies on what might happen instead of what is happening, it becomes harder to clearly support the actions being taken.
I have a civil claim off your police force, unfortunately. I would appreciate it if I could get a ranking member of staff out here to deal with this loose cannon I've got. She's just mounted the curb.
Stand back then.
She's just mounted the curb. Is she allowed to mount the curb? Is she allowed to mount the curb like that? Is she? Oh, I've got her good. She's in a world of trouble.
What gives this encounter weight isn't just the physical contact, it's the absence of a clear justification for it. No restricted area appears to have been breached, no interference is evident, and nothing in the behavior suggests escalation. Yet repeated directions are issued as if authority alone can create boundaries. That's where the concern lies. Policing relies on lawful justification, not simply instruction. When compliance is demanded without a clear legal basis, it raises questions about whether the powers being used are properly grounded. The arrival of additional officers would normally prompt a reset, fresh perspective, a check on distance, behavior, and whether any restriction is actually in place. Instead, there's little sign of reassessment. The situation continues without those basics being clarified. To that point, the process risks shifting from being corrective to protective, maintaining the initial position rather than examining it. The way it ends also matters. The officer leaves without offering a clear explanation, resolution, or acknowledgement of what occurred. That lack of closure can leave the interaction feeling unresolved and raises further questions about whether the situation was ever grounded in a clear, lawful purpose.